Chapter 21. A New Nuisance. The couple were living happily together for a couple of months. They had not seen Sakura as of late, something both of them were happy for. Tayayu had quickly adjusted to living with Naruto again, though it wasn't something that was hard to do. He always gave in to her wants and demands, so it was easy to live with him. Currently, she was watching him as he made them their lunch while shirtless, on her request naturally. She was actually a bit surprised at how much of a pervert she truly was. Though, it wasn't that either of them minded in the slightest. Naruto finished making their lunch, then brought her over her portion with a smile. "Here you go, Tayayu-chan." Tayayu smiled back at the blue-eyed man. "Thanks, shithead-kun." Naruto kissed her on the top of the head. "Anytime, Tayayu-chan." She nodded her head, then started to eat the sandwich that he had prepared for her. She enjoyed the food that he made. He was actually a really good cook. She once asked him about it, and his response had been that he had wanted to learn to cook in case he ever had someone to cook for. He had gotten lessons for Chuki on how to cook, his personal favorite chef. Tayayu quickly devoured the sandwich with a smile. She loved his cooking more than she ever admitted. Naruto smiled at her as he ate his sandwich at a slower rate than she had eaten. She was eyeing the other piece of Naruto's sandwich closely as he ate half of his. Naruto smiled at her. "Go ahead, Tayayu-chan." Tayayu smirked, then snatched it quickly and devoured the other half, making a moaning sound. "It's almost better than when we fuck." Naruto shook his head and mumbled, "Make love." He had given up the attempt to have her call it making love after the incident in Tsunade's office. He knew that in the end she viewed it as making love. She had said it herself to Tsunade. She just didn't want to admit that he was right, something that wasn't all that uncommon for his red-headed goddess of a girlfriend. Said woman just looked at him. "What are you looking at?" The blonde-haired man smiled at her. "You, of course, gorgeous." Tayayu blushed as she looked away from him for a moment, then returned her gaze to the blonde-haired man she called hers. "Shut up, Naruto-kun." Naruto smiled as he stood up, giving her a quick kiss as he grabbed her plate. She smiled at him as she watched him go into the kitchen and washed their plates off. When he came back, he smiled at her. "Want to do something tonight, Tayayu-chan?" Tayayu had a horny smile on her face now. "Oh, want to do something fun, Naruto-kun?" Naruto smiled at her and shook his head at his red-headed girlfriend. "That wasn't what I meant, Tayayu-chan, though you know I am always up for that." Tayuyu's eyes got more devious. "Always up for that, huh? How about now then, right here on the table?" Naruto looked at her, then at the table. "On the table?" "But we eat here, Tayayu-chan." Tayuyu's devious and horny smile got wider. "Well, you will be eating here now, won't you?" Naruto blushed at her, then she grabbed his shirt collar. "You, me, table, fucking, now." The blonde-haired man smiled and nodded his head at her as he did what she was demanding. She was good at manipulating him, and they both knew that, not that either cared at the moment. After they finished, Tayayu decided that she did in fact want to go out and do something with her blonde-haired lover. As they walked around the village holding hands, she was smiling the whole time, a sex afterglow as well as pride. Proud that she was the one that was holding his hand and not some other woman. As they walked around the village, though, they were stopped by someone Naruto hadn't seen in a long time. There was a blue-haired woman with rather large breasts standing in front of them. "Hi, Naruto-kun." Tayayu started to emit a low growling sound that Naruto and Hinata both heard, making them both look over at her. The red-headed woman was glaring at Hinata. "Do not call him Naruto-kun. Only I can call him Naruto-kun, understand me, bitch." Naruto kissed Tayayu on her cheek in an attempt to calm his red-headed goddess. As she looked over at him, he smiled at her. "Be nice, Tayayu-chan, Hinata has always been really nice to me." Tayayu looked at him, then rose her eyebrow at him. "That's cause she wants your cock, dumbass. She has always wanted your cock, even I know that. That being said, I don't want her near you. You and your marvelous little friend are all mine." Naruto smiled at the possessiveness that she displayed and kissed her quickly before leaning in by her ear. "My friend isn't small, you know that, Tayayu-chan." Tayayu blushed as she looked at him, then looked back at Hinata, who was blushing from how Tayayu had spoke. Hinata looked at Tayayu. It's true. I want to be with Naruto-kun." Tayuyu's growling got more audible as she glared at the blue-haired woman in front of her and her boyfriend. The boyfriend this blue-haired bitch was trying to take from her. Naruto looked at Hinata, giving her a soft smile. Sorry Hinata, but as I told Sakura, I love Tayayu-chan and that will never change. I thought that you were dating Kiba anyways. Hinata nodded her head. I am. But I would leave Kiba-kun for you. Naruto looked at her, a bit disappointed with the blue-haired woman. Hinata, that is very low for someone who cares so deeply about you. You know that Kiba loves you, so why would you do such a thing to him? Hinata looked at him. I have always loved you. That was Taya's last straw though. Tayuya lunged at the blue-haired woman and started to hit her. Stay away from my boyfriend, bitch. I'll kill you. Do you fucking hear me? Naruto pulled Tayuya off of Hinata and wrapped his red-headed woman up in his arms, holding her close in a comforting manner. Both Naruto and Tayuya feared the realization of losing the other. Neither ever wanted to go through such a thing. Naruto stroked Tayuya's hair slowly, then lifted her face gently to look at him. Her brown eyes staring into blue eyes with a fox slit in them. Tayuya-chan, you know I won't leave you, I love you. Tayuya smiled a bit, then kissed him quickly. Kiss ass. Naruto smiled at her, then leaned down and captured her lips in a longer and more passionate kiss. When they broke, he looked at her. Always for you, love. Tayuya smiled, then looked back over her should at Hinata. I meant what I said, bitch. Stay away from him or I will kill you. I am not afraid of doing it, especially to protect what is mine. Naruto shook his head, then pulled Tayuya by her hand as they walked away from the slightly bloody Hinata as she stood up. When they were walking, Tayuya started to lean into him with a proud smile on her face. Naruto looked at her as she continued to hold her smile. You are a little too happy about what you did to Tayuya-chan. Tayuya looked at him, then back at where they were walking, her smile getting larger as they did. She deserved it and you know it, Naruto-kun. Naruto smiled at her, then stopped walking and she stopped looking over at him. What? The blonde-haired man continued to smile at her. Tayuya-chan, you're really possessive, did you know that? Tayuya nodded her head, then got closer. Only over what is mine. As she said mine, her hand trailed down, then grabbed his manhood, making him groan. Like this here, this is mine. Naruto looked at her. I thought it was mine. Tayuya smiled some more. Nope. All mine. The blonde-haired man removed her hand, then kissed her. Okay. Tayuya-chan. Tayuya smiled, then grabbed his hand again and started to pull him along to the sparring pit. That, not surprisingly, was her favorite pastime other than making love to Naruto. When they got close to the pit though, they were distracted by the voice of another person. Naruto and Tayuya, what are you doing? They both stopped and looked over at the black-haired man that was walking over. Tayuya, of course, spoke up first, irritated with all the distractions that they were running into. What the fuck do you want, pineapple? Shikamaru sighed as he looked at Tayuya. I have asked you not to call me that. Tayuya smiled as she looked at him, then back at Naruto. I don't remember having that conversation, pineapple. Do you remember having that conversation with him, Naruto-kun? Naruto shook his head. I think this is the first time that Shikamaru has spoken to me since my return, to be honest with you, Tayuya-chan. Tayuya looked over at Shikamaru. Still being a shitty friend, then pineapple, I am disappointed in you. Shikamaru rolled his eyes at Tayuya. I have been very busy with my missions, all right. Tayuya narrowed her eyes at him. Cause we haven't been busy with missions. Dealing with them, Akatsuki, and worst of all that old perverted hag of a Hokage. Then on top of that I fuck his brains out almost every night. We are much busier than you are, pineapple. Shikamaru looked at her. Why do you have to phrase things the way you do? Why couldn't you have said having sex or making love? Naruto looked at Shikamaru. She doesn't like to call it making love. Shikamaru looked at Naruto, then at Tayuya before his gaze slowly turned back to Naruto. Maybe she doesn't love you then. Naruto quickly grabbed Tayuya before her hand reached Shikamaru's throat. I would run if I were you. I can only hold her back as long as she wants me to hold her. Shikamaru looked at Naruto. I am not scared of her. Naruto sighed as Tayuya glared at him over her shoulder. Naruto, let me go. Now. Naruto kissed her cheek before he let her go. Yes, love. Tayuya smirked evilly as she slowly walked towards Shikamaru. The black-haired man did his shadow possession jutsu, trying to stop the red-headed woman. Tayuya just smiled at him. This barely contained me all those years ago, you stupid piece of crap. Now I am as strong as Naruto-kun. This is nothing to me. Chiyuya spiked her chakra and overpowered Shikamaru's jutsu, smiling evilly as she continued to walk towards him. Shikamaru's eyes widened in fear. Naruto, help me. Naruto scratched the back of his head. I would like to, but if I do she will just get angrier and take that out on you as well. Perhaps I should stay out of it. Shikamaru looked at Naruto with pleading eyes as Tayayu got closer. Her evil smile growing a bit larger with each step that she took. He isn't going to save you, no one is going to save you. Kami herself wouldn't be able to save you now. The red-headed woman dove and grabbed Shikamaru's throat growling as she squeezed. How does it feel to be strangled, bastard? Her grip tightened. No one will ever doubt my love for him again. No one. Naruto felt a little touched by her words. Chiyuya-chan, it doesn't matter what they think. I know that you love me. Chiyuya's grip softened on Shikamaru's windpipe, looking over at the blonde-haired man she loved. His kind smile making her lose her anger. I know, but I want to hurt him still. Naruto walked over and offered her his hand. Come on, love, let's go and spar like you want to. He isn't a match for you and would just bore you. Chiyuya looked at Naruto's hand then back at the black-haired man who was coughing as he breathed. Chiyuya sighed then took Naruto's hand, letting him help her up. Chiyuya looked at Naruto, giving him a quick kiss then glared over at Shikamaru. Her evil smile returned. As the black-haired man was still trying to get his breathing under control she delivered a hard kick to his ball. Pussy. Naruto shook his head as Chiyuya smiled at him as she walked over to him. Come on Naruto-kun, let's go and spar. Naruto just smiled at her and nodded his head, letting her lead him over to the sparring pit that they always used. They sparred and as always, Naruto won the sparring match. He stopped letting her win. It always irritated her since she knew where his true power level was. As they finished sparring Naruto laid down on the grass then felt Chiyuya lay down on him and cuddle into him a little. You're getting stronger quickly Chiyuya-chan, pretty soon you will be back to kicking me ass. Chiyuya smiled. Yup, and I will be really kicking your ass, not this whole you letting me win crap. Naruto smiled and nodded his head at her. Of course love, I won't make that mistake again. Chiyuya leaned up and smiled. I have an idea Naruto-kun. Naruto rose his eyebrow at her. What's that? His red-headed goddess started to have a devious and evil smile on her face. We are going to fuck right now, right in the middle of our sparring pit. Naruto looked at her. If you want that you have to say you want to make love to me. Chiyuya rose her eyebrow at the blonde-haired man. Are you making demands shithead-kun? Naruto smiled then rolled her onto her back, slowly rubbing her sides. It was one of her weak spots. I am compromising love. Chiyuya's breath hitched then looked at him with lust in her eyes. Naruto-kun, please fuck me. Naruto kissed her on the neck making her release a small moan as he used both of her weak spots against her. Say it love. Chiyuya squirmed underneath him. You will pay for this. Make love to me Naruto-kun. Naruto smiled at her then gave her a quick kiss before again giving her what she wanted. He was surprised at how horny and perverted his girlfriend truly was, not that he cared of course. To be continued.